Okay, so another thing I want to talk to you about is evolutionary proposals. That is, mm, how do we help humans evolve on what I'm always calling the scale of human consciousness? Which is a real thing. You can Google it, Scale of Human Consciousness, and make sure you get the version that's David R. Hawkins' version, because there's other versions out there that say that, but they're not the right ones. So the David R. Hawkins version of the Scale of Human Consciousness is the right one. The other ones are very interesting to look at. Various people have tried to link the scale of human consciousness to other kinds of scales that are used for, I suppose, measuring consciousness in different kind of aspects. So there's some very interesting alternative versions of the scale of human consciousness, and you should really go take a look because it'll help you get more, it's more meme format rather than long-winded, wordy talks and readings. All the same, the lectures of David R. Hawkins on YouTube are fantastic. The lectures from Eckhart Tolle are really expert as well. So, are you an expert? Do you want to be an expert? Those are the people you need to know through and through. Are they perfect? No. But they're damn near perfect. They're certainly way more perfect than all the rest of the shit that I've read. So, for the sake of what you need, both of those guys are perfect for you because they're written in good English. They're easy to read. And if you start watching the lectures of Eckhart Tolle and David R. Hawkins on YouTube, it's just so easy. I mean, what you can do is you just put on the lecture and then just go sit down on the couch and just listen and just enjoy. I don't know. I like to just let it run. Okay, so we were talking about how we're going to help evolve humans, and that's one way you learning from these masters. They're not hard to do. They're really easy to listen to. All the same, some people are just turned off for whatever reason. And so we're working on other projects that nobody knows about. Jedi missions, we're going to call them. And the Jedi missions are um, um, they're not people, well, they could be actually. There's so many things that are going on that, we're not updated on. The real news of what's going on with Earth ascension and move to the fifth dimension. You know, people just don't know. And so I'm going to let you in a little bit on what we can tell you. People that watch my channel know that I'm constantly, every day, demonically attacked, and I have been for 5 years every day. So as a light worker, what happens is we learned from Stuart Wilde, the metaphysical teacher, that there are other realms, other dimensions where people live. And in these dimensions, there are some horrible people who have got somehow control over us here on planet Earth. Does it sound nuts? Well, we just finished Christmas. It's New Year's Day here today. And there was a movie a few years ago called The Nutcracker where they showed this exact same thing. So if you find The Nutcracker from, I don't know, 2019, the movie version, if you watch that, you'll see that they do have different realms, different worlds in that movie. And you can be in one world and you can look at people in other worlds. We also saw this in The Dark Tower of Stephen King. Stephen King's Dark Tower series is all about a multiplicity of Earths, different Earths. And we saw that in Quantum Leap and Sliders. Sliders for sure. Quantum Leap, did they move from... I can't remember Quantum Leap now. I think it was the same. Yeah, the Sliders, yeah. So they moved from different versions of Earth. So, but the one where in the Nutcracker where they can look into other worlds, that's the best one for you to look at because it's not too mean-spirited. Some of the other ones are horrible, horrible. So the Nutcracker, 2019, it's worth a watch. Watch it. It's still Christmas. It's New Year's Day, so I don't know. Your New Year's week. See if you can watch that Nutcracker, because just to get this idea that you can have these worlds where you can be in one world and look at another one. And this is the way it is here on planet Earth. These other worlds are real, and there's people in them, and they are able to highly toxify us. So the demonic remote control that's torturing me could well be in another realm. Could be. Rather than just being in a deep underground military base somewhere, because it's highly illegal. It's pure terrorism. But that's what you can do if you live in another realm or another world that is linked to us here, on our version of Earth. Does it sound sci-fi? I don't want to tell you, but the metaphysics of higher consciousness and learning about the nature of our extended reality that we don't have a clue of. There's so much. It's so vast. It's as vast as you looking up at the stars on a dark night. The amount of stuff for us to learn and experience. It's so vast, and we're so cramped into us sitting in front of and watching another stupid fucking Netflix movie, bore story, and there's so much more. So how do we get there? Well, we got to get our consciousnesses up. And the great difficulty on planet Earth is that there are many people who are harassed by people in other realms. And we have stories that we have got them blocking us from realizing that we have these possibilities. So many people are incredibly blocked in their ability for their mind to expand enough to see that there's so much more, and we're so limited in our ways. And we often blame each other for these things. But Ascension Diaries on the internet talks about implants. And we saw these kind of implants. Keanu Reeves got one of these implants when he was dreaming in the movie The Matrix. And there it was when he woke up. It was there in him. So we're told that we have these kind of blocks in our chakra systems, for example. Various other things you can read about it in that Ascension Diaries. It's pretty creepy, but then again, I'm attacked all the time. 5 years. You need to understand that our reality is much more than what we see. There's many, many more things, and you sometimes get these clues in these Hollywood movies. So what's going on is that when I'm under a horrible demonic attack, the demons that are attacking me may actually be protected by senior members of spiritual hierarchies in the various universes. I don't know, some of them really went bad, apparently. People who were in positions of unbelievable authority. And, well, what we're told is under every demonic attack, somebody in one of these other realms who's got spiritual authority can protect the demons who are attacking me. From light workers, from I, capital I, capital I. I did another talk recently about capital I. Capital I is... you need to read Joel S. Goldsmith, The Mystical Eye, to get a good idea of what we're talking about. If you're interested, that's what you need to know. Anyways, so what I does is watches these beings that we might call gods and goddesses in other realms, as described perhaps in Buddhism. Yeah, it's really, if you think I'm nuts, then you're not Buddhist and you haven't studied anything Buddhist, because they talk all about these other realms. Seriously, they do. So if you're calling me a jackass for telling you about this stuff, then you are an ignorant person, aren't you? Just in case there's people out there, and clearly they're going to be, because that's why I had to say it. So you're not going to have to go and, double check, do your homework, look up all kinds of stuff about Buddhism. If you don't know, then you're an ignoramus. And I'm not. So, once again. All right, what else do we want to tell you? Okay, so what the story is that if you have some of these members of the senior spiritual hierarchy that are defending people What they have to do is they actually have to use some signal, some intention that they're going to defend this demonic attack. And when that being does that, then I sees that they're dirty, evil thing, and then I gets rid of them. And that's what's been going on, according to this story. And so what else do we want to tell you? Well, I'm still being demonically attacked, so there's still members of spiritual hierarchies that are defending the demonic attacks on me. Once all of the protectors in the senior hierarchies have been removed, all the dirty ones are gone, then under a certain point of time, a demonic attack on me will not be protected by spiritual hierarchies, and the demons will be wiped out. When's that going to happen? Well, I is never going to tell you, because the great mystery is when and how many get taken out under each demonic attack. And it's not just demonic attacks on me, it's the demonic attacks on people all over the place. So what's the Jedi mission of it all? Well, how would this be related to Jedi? Are the Jedi the one that kill the demons once the protections are gone? I'm sorry, I'm not getting anything else. Jedi missions. So I'll leave it out there for you. Maybe you wanted to start doing Jedi missions. How are you going to become a Jedi? Well, you're going to be like Luke Skywalker, and you're going to find a master like Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you're going to be a master swordsman and learn how to use the Force, you want to do that? People do. What do you need to do? Well, I don't know. Look at all the martial arts people. The masters of martial arts. Those people are ready to go on Jedi missions. How does this all work? Well, I hate to tell you this, but I'm going to give you back to Stuart Wilde because he describes some of these Jedi missions on his website, stuartwilde.com, STUARTWILDE.com. Fascinating stories about Jedi missions that Stuart Wilde has been on. Is he a Jedi? I'll let you determine that. Anyways, that's a good place to get going on that. So what else do we want to tell you? Well, we just wanted to let you know that some of the things that are going on that you don't know about and you can't see, now you know something. And again, if you think I'm full of shit, then you really need to read up on Buddhism and the different realms of Buddhism. And then when you realize, I don't know how many Buddhists there are on planet Earth, but there's a hell of a lot. Millions for sure. So you can Google that. How many Buddhists are there on Earth? And you'll be shocked and surprised. And then when you go and see, when I'm talking about these other realms and these other kinds of beings, in Buddhism they call them gods and asuras and devas, different words. There's all kinds of stuff for you to learn. And if you're an atheist, you still need to know. Why? Because otherwise you're an ignoramus. When you meet an actual Buddhist, you won't have anything to talk to. You should be well versed, and then at least you can say, well, this is why I'm an atheist. Is Buddhism atheist? It's not as easy to determine as Christianity. Christianity, 100%, there's God. Buddhism, I think Buddha was quoted as saying, I don't want to talk about that question. He passed on the question, whether there's God or not. He passed on the question because the way he was given, he wasn't about people and God, he was about people and enlightenment. Anyways, that's the best I can give you. What else do you need to know about all this stuff? Well, if you really want to become a Jedi, you need to raise your consciousness. Every time that I give you all the best things that you want to have superpowers like Jedi mind tricks. Remember when Obi-Wan Kenobi told the stormtroopers, these aren't the droids you're looking for? And they used the Jedi mind trick. If you want to get the abilities to... I don't know if that's possible. I don't think it's possible. To do mind suggestions. You know, telepathic mind suggestions. Do you think it's possible? Telepathic mind suggestions? What kind of evidence would we be looking for to really convince us that this is possible or not possible? You got to get your consciousness way up in order to find out. Because you raise your consciousness and the information of the universe comes to you. A lot of people on YouTube call it getting downloads. Yeah, getting downloads, just like a computer gets a download, you get a download into you. But you want to get downloads, you got to get your consciousness up. You know, that's just the way it works. If you want to see interesting things, more interesting things, you got to get your consciousness up. Because it helps open up your eyes, opens up your awareness. You start to see things that other people are completely ignoring. And then you look at them and you go, my God, you're so fucking dumb. I used to hang out with a lot of people that I used to think were just intelligent people. And when you raise your consciousness and other people don't, you go, my God, you become impossible. You've been impossible to talk to. It's like a field of dumb. Even when I walk into a strong field of dumb, quite often I feel handcuffed. It's like the things that want to be expressed through me get suppressed. If you get in a field of dumb people and you hang out with dumb people, they're going to suppress your abilities. Because that's what I experienced personally. And I'm somebody that's been raising my vibe for, 20 years. So who you hang out with makes an enormous difference in your spiritual development. It makes all the difference in the world. And this is what the Buddha taught. Buddhists go together. They call it a Sangha. A Sangha, and it's groups of like-minded Buddhists who get together and meditate together and hang out together. On their free time, they hang out together. So they're always around people who understand Buddhism, they understand the mind, they understand what's going on in the world, they understand how they should react to the world. And they're all there to support each other through their tough times. And they're going to be high vibe because the ways of the Buddha are high vibration. Doing the meditation is very, very good for raising your consciousness. It's super good. I'm not going to say it's the best thing. Some people need to change some other things, but, if they started meditating, a lot of that stuff would fall away. It would just fall away. Because you get your consciousness up and you get more and more information and you get more and more morality and ethics and more understanding of the intricate whys, the intricate details and subtle details that don't make any difference to you when you're dumb. But when you become intelligent, it's like, what if with this particular case, like this particular, I had this particular case, and these kind of things, intellectual discussions on spiritual topics, and how would you deal with this? And you can get amazing conversations. There's nothing better than intelligent people to enjoy your time with. I just watched a video on TV about Cleopatra. And turns out Cleopatra was a brilliant woman. She spoke 9 languages. And she built an enormous library, the most famous ancient library of all time, Alexandria, Egypt. And she spent all of her time in the library reading and reading. And she would get books from all around the world and put her in this enormous library. She was a smart lady. But they say she was vicious too, but I don't know. She calibrates at 190. So here she is, very intellectual. But she only calibrates at 190. 190 is pride. So how can she understand books and things and speak other languages if she only calibrates at 190? Well, the human beast is an interesting beast because you just got to know that that's possible. It's possible to be incredibly bookish and have a low consciousness. 190, Hannibal Lecter. Remember, this scale of human consciousness that we're working with is a scale of love. At the top of the scale of human consciousness is Jesus and Buddha. The religions of peace. So, remember, higher on the scale of consciousness is more love. Low on the scale of consciousness is evil. And Hannibal Lecter is an evil son of a bitch, isn't he? So these are some of the fascinating things that make you wonder, well, I still can't understand how can you be smart and be low of consciousness? Because you can be incredibly smart and have no love in you and be very smart devils, like the devils that built, for example, atomic bombs. Oppenheimer calibrates at 190, pride. What is the pride all about? Well, I don't know. You can learn to muscle test, and you can ask your questions. I've been doing muscle test demonstrations today, so I'll do a quick one. This is how you do it by yourself. Dr. Hawkins, when he did a muscle test, he would use a two-person test. You can do a two-person test if you want. But if you're by yourself, and I'm always by myself, it's just so easy. Okay, so I just take my hand, and I take my thumb, and, my fuck-off finger, and I put them together like this. And I make a ring, and then I take my thumb with the other hand, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull against here. Okay, what I'm going to do first, though, is I'm going to give you something to test for truth. So I'm going to give you a statement, and the statement is in the form of a statement, and I want to check out if this information is true. So the statement is, Paris is the capital of France. And then what I want to hold this fairly strong together, and then I'm going to pull on it. Paris is the capital of France, and it stays strong, and my thumb doesn't go through my fingers because they stay strong. Now, if I say Paris is the capital of Italy, I can't hold it. The muscle strength here diminishes significantly when I'm muscle testing for truth. And it's as simple as that. And you see how easy I got the answer. And you can test anything within reason. What can't you test? Personal matters of third parties that you're not related to, unless you have an integrity in understanding what's going on with them. And how are you going to know if you're in integrity or not? Well, okay, if you're just looking to be a gossipy person, and you're looking to just get gossip on people, that's not integrous. That's not love, is it? It's not based in love. That's based in viciousness. So you're not going to get answers. Or you might get answers that are wrong if you're muscle testing for these kind of things. But if you're wanting to test, okay, is Lester Holt on NBC News, is he telling the truth on this item? You could just test whatever he's saying in the form of a statement and see if he's telling you the truth. Okay, I'm going to test Lester Holt, NBC News. I'm going to get, on the scale of human consciousness, Lester Holt calibrates over 200, 190. 190, Lester the molester. Okay, 190. That's pride. He's super low in consciousness. 190 is Lucifer. And now some people say Lucifer the Lightbringer is a good guy. He's a fucking asshole. He's a fucking egotistical prick. He stole everything and said that he made it all. And I brought all this light to you, all this shit that God wouldn't give you. It was a pack of lies. And anyway, that's what Luciferians say. And they're all at 190. 190 is under 200. 200 is the demarcation between negative and positive as far as spiritual beings. Negative beings, like negative entities, are demonic. Okay, so what else do we need to know? So I'm just going to tell you. You need to learn the muscle test so you can confirm what I just showed you, that Lester the molester has no heart. He's a heartless son of a bitch. And he's a lying sack of shit, because somebody at 190 lies for a living. You need to understand, because this is stuff about, the media and fake news. You need to understand how to muscle test, just like what I showed you. Because then you can go and check to see what calibrated level of consciousness the various news media give you. And you can test all the lies. I call them a pack of lies. They lie so fucking much, it's unbelievable. But, you can test all kinds of things. Like, is it a flat earth? Or is it a round earth? Or is it a holographic earth? And then you can start looking at it different ways. Well, use your intuition and then use some muscle testing. All kinds of investigations. Isn't that an easy tool? It's a super good tool, and it's built right into you. What if you get wrong answers? Part of the learning process, I think. I mean, I was muscle testing for decades, literally. Because I'm that kind of a person. If somebody's got a teaching, I check it out, because I've been burned many times by his teachings that were bullshit. Many times. But that one I just showed you works. And if you're getting wrong answers, probably your consciousness level needs to go up higher. Like if you're at 203, you're going to, I don't know, if you're in integrity and you're at 203, you should get good answers. If you're, I don't know. I always thought that if you got to higher levels of consciousness, you're more likely to get good answers. Is it true? It's true. No, it's false. It's false. So, people under 200 cannot do muscle testing because they refused higher power, higher consciousness. They refuse it. Stupid, incredibly stupid. But, ego. That's all ego. And Eckhart Tolle will talk to you all about ego in his book, The Power of Now. What else do I need to tell you about all this? So that's interesting. So people that are in integrity, even if they're at just over 200, are going to get muscle testing. So that's a spiritual gift that you get from being from being a positive person. So that's one that you can have just by being in integrity. For more on the issue, you should research David R. Hawkins. He's got YouTubes all over, as I said, and great books, and Eckhart Tolle's book, and he's also on YouTube. So, no reason not to follow up on what I've told you. I've just taken out a half an hour of my life in order to give you this information. So, if you want to go and look, you don't need to pay me for all this. As much as I need a lot of help in my own environment, I rely on capital I, to look after things, and I'm not given to ask you for money. So, all the same, be generous with others. What else do we want to tell you? There's so many more things. So please continue to follow my stuff and share out the ones that you like, or the ones that you find are going to be really the perfect ones for the person you're pissed off at. Because a lot of the times when I'm chastising people about things, you might be able to send it to somebody else because it's the same kind of thing that person's done.